Welcome to another episode of Dear ADHD Family Coach with Leslie Josel.
Okay, is my child lazy? Wow. So if you took and watched the webinar or the video, the one Executive Functioning 101, what I said here is that this is where effort lives. So one of the executive functions, just for a quick review, is effort. And this is where your child comes to me and says, my parents think I'm lazy, my teachers think I'm lazy, somebody called me lazy. And I go back and I say, you are not lazy. You just have a hard time sustaining effort. This is big, guys. Now, I'm not saying we don't all have some lazy in us, but here's what I want you to hear me say, which is why I took myself off the video, because I really need you to hear me. People with executive functioning challenges have a difficult time regulating alertness, right? Effort, even like processing information for long periods of time. I said that in the last time. So they can perform, like your child can maybe like sustain a short-term task or project or listen to very short and concise commands. But staying high effort level over a long period of time, they cannot do that. So what you're perceiving as lazy or lack of effort is actually a very real executive dysfunction. So I know that I'm chatty, you can tell that, but I'm not chatty when I talk to my students, because long and complicated like verbal instructions are just, or too many words, even on the written page, can really derail your child. So this is where my child doesn't listen to me lives. This is where my child won't do what I say. It's not that they won't do it. A lot of them don't process what you're even saying to them. So I did mention this one on the last video, that when I see my students losing focus, I modulate how I present information. I always talk in sound bites, always, because they remember it. It sticks to their memory. But the other thing that I do, and I don't want to go into this because I talked a little bit about this already, is that effort level up. I'm about to say something really important to you. Can you bring your effort level up to me? Wiggling in the chair, getting themselves ready to receive. And then when I'm done, I give them permission to come down off of that high alert, right? I ask them to repeat back what I said, so I know they heard me. And then I'm like, okay, you can bring your effort level down. Because asking them to stay on high alert all the time, they're just not going to hear you. Now, if you think they're lazy because they're not doing their homework or what have you, what I think that might be is that they're overwhelmed, possibly, again, I'm going to keep using that word, by working on a project or a paper. There's just they might have too much they have to figure out. So the first order of business always is to break down larger projects into small, achievable tasks. I cannot stress this point enough. I can't. Because if you are saying, or anyone is saying, go study for your Mesopotamia exam, it's too much overload. It's too much overwhelm. It's too much cognitive load. It's too vague. It's too much. It's not specific. It's too much they need to figure out, and therefore they won't do it, and therefore you think they're lazy. So instead of go study for your Mesopotamia test, can we try review the 7 Mesopotamia gods and their importance? Or find out what the 3 main points of the cultural significance for Mesopotamia culture. Or understand the most important invention, meaning get as specific as you can so your child doesn't have to figure all of this out on their own. The more they have to figure out, the more cognitive load they have, the more inactivity they have, the less effort level they have, and that's where lazy lives. It's just way easier for the brain, particularly if your child overwhelms easily, to complete individual steps than to tackle a whole project at a time. And again, I'm going to go back to that sheer amount of work on a page, right? We've got to make sure that even how much stuff is being presented to them on a page is less for them. So again, small, digestible things here. Because I will tell you about 90% of it, your child's not lazy. They're just having a really hard time sustaining effort, listening to everything you have to say, or doing everything they're being asked to do.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. And if you want to be notified when a new Dear ADHD Family Coach episode drops, make sure to hit that subscribe button.